Today I want to spend a little time talking about Bob Jones. This is the Bob Jones that all of you know. He's from Coweta and Wagner and Tulsa and Red Oak. He grew up there. In fact, this Bob Jones grew up in all 50 of the United States. Bob was an American. He had parents that loved him. He had brothers and sisters and uncles and aunts, cousins. He had dreams and ambitions. He had big plans. Bob was accustomed to free public schools, reliable utilities, a safe supply of water, roads to almost anywhere, and the freedom to travel anywhere he wanted. He could have gone to college, or he could have taken a job. He was a good athlete. He didn't participate in sports. He was in the marching band. He played in a rock band. Everybody knew Bob Jones. This was his civilian identity. Bob had learned about the United States Constitution in school. He knew that it gave him a lot of rights and privileges that people in other countries didn't have. Bob Jones considered himself to be blessed to be born in America. He was grateful for the freedoms that he and his family enjoyed. He considered himself a patriot. Bob Jones decided to join the military. He served in the military from 1775 until May 28, 2013. For the veterans here, try to recall when you first got in the military. Whether you joined willingly or you were drafted, it's a nervous and exciting time when a young man or woman first puts on the uniform of our nation's military. You leave your friends and family behind to face the unknown. You give up your old identity. That's what Bob Jones did. He was no longer Bob Jones. He had a military identity. He became Private Jones, and Seaman Jones, and Airman Jones. He raised his right hand and took a solemn oath that he would support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Private Jones realized that he might face danger, but he had not given much thought that he might have to kill a person that he had never even met. But an 18 or 20-year-old probably doesn't think about death very often. And Private Jones probably could not fully comprehend the soul-wrenching impact of watching his friend bleed to death in a faraway land. He probably couldn't foresee surviving that mortar round that only burst his eardrum and gave him a concussion, but that blew away the face of the soldier just a few feet away. He probably couldn't imagine going into a bombed-out building looking for a sniper, only to find the mangled body parts of children strewn across the floor. He probably couldn't imagine so many of his comrades surviving an IED, but living the rest of their life without an arm, without a leg, without an eye, but with a pounding in their head that just won't go away. Sergeant Jones probably couldn't anticipate that an event that lasted only a few minutes would be waking him up with nightmares 30, 40, or 50 years later. Yes, many wounded veterans are among us who did their duty and came home, and we are eternally grateful for their service and their sacrifice. Sergeant Jones returned home. He went back to being Bob Jones. He went to college on the GI Bill. He married, and he and his wife had 2 kids. They all joined the church. Bob joined the American Legion and helped support his community. He was still a patriot, and he taught his children to respect our nation and our flag. Bob became a mechanic. Bob was a real estate agent. Bob started his own business. Bob became a policeman. He was a school teacher, a farmer. Sergeant Jones returned home. He never got his high school diploma. He had 3 failed marriages. He suffered from alcoholism. He was often unemployed and frequently, it seems, in trouble with the law. But he was still a patriot. He still respected the flag. Both stories of Bob Jones are similar to many veterans who returned and resumed their civilian identities. But this is Memorial Day, and today is dedicated to the memory of those who did not come home, to those brave patriots who fought their final battle a long distance from the safe shores of America. Their civilian identities were cut short. As we visit a national cemetery where so many of them rest together, or an American cemetery in Europe where row after row of identical markers stand, we know we are here today the military to show respect and gratitude to those veterans who may have sacrificed their own lives will never be known. They have the courage and commitment to believe themselves in danger. Americans know about honoring our fallen or something else. Although they were young, many had children of their own. They were men and women with hopes and dreams and futures. Maybe they died defending their family back home. Maybe they died defending future generations. Maybe they died defending the freedoms and liberties they had grown up with as citizens of the United States. Maybe they died defending their comrades, their friends who were fighting alongside them. It's the same oath that many of our public officials take when they enter office, to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.